In several instances, I'm going to call a spade in this video because it has come to my notice that when people that should boldly say the truth are not saying it, what should be figments of people's imaginations replace the truth. I woke up this morning, began my daily routine when I saw this notation, ostensibly from General Olusegun Obasanjo, who was a two-time head of state of Nigeria. It says, Obasanjo says every side of Nigeria has tried to leave Nigeria, so why punish Igbos? Of course, this is a fact of history. In fact, the Igbo people were the only people that did not try to leave Nigeria, but we are being pushed out. We are being murdered. And when they said, okay, since you don't want us, let us leave, all hell was let loose, and 3 million of our people were wasted. We are exterminated as if they were viruses and bacteria. So Obasanjo, I believe Obasanjo actually said this because it came from a source that may be credible, was wondering why the case of the Igbos is always different. And it prompted me to make the following remark. One of the most nauseating things I've ever read or heard in my life is that the Igbo people are like their neighbors in Nigeria and Africa. This is nauseating. To even think this is nauseating, to think that the Igbo people are like their neighbors is to think that the state of Israel is like its neighbors. The state of Israel is a democracy. Non-Igbos, I prefer to cite non-Igbos now, had noted in the 18th and the 17th centuries that they never saw anywhere in the world as democratic as the Igbo society. The state of Israel is a democracy. None of its neighbors is a democracy. Or that the assumption taught by anyone that anybody can even assume or think, even if they did not relate to me, that after decades as a lawyer, as a law teacher, and many years in US universities, that I, Remy Lorna, is still unqualified to talk about my origins. Something must be wrong with somebody to think like this. Or probably the person has not looked at my background. I'm one of the few persons in the world who can talk about their history for 4,000 years. I'm not intimidated by things like racism because I know they are immaterial. I know they are not important. So for anybody in the world to assume that they are inherently more intelligent than me provokes me. If an Igbo has held the view that the Igbos have any origins other than the one I have held, that Igbo should be interrogated thoroughly. I've interrogated some in my upcoming work. You will see we have put Igbos on the table to tell us how they came to the conclusions they came that led them to any source other than biblical Israel. Fellow Igbos who were influenced by the same factors that influenced the non-Igbos that have ever denied that Igbo people came from Israel. You will be shocked by what I'm going to reveal very soon. While I have always been ready to prove that if you came from ancient Israel, if your group claims that it came from ancient Israel, I'm forever ready to prove that your ancestor religion is Omenana. I repeat what I said. Interrogate any Igbo that says that his ancestry is not from ancient Israel, and interrogate me for proof that the ancestor religion of every group in the world that claims Israelite origin, that their ancestor religion is Omenana. I can prove it. Acknowledging that the Igbo people are different will save them from going into extinction and help humanity. Raphael Lemkin did the world a lot of good by giving us a definition of genocide that tells us that when you eliminate one human group, you have eliminated the whole of humanity. Because humanity is like these 5 fingers. Cut off one, the other 4 have a lot of difficulties. The Igbos need to breathe. The Igbos need to survive. And the acknowledgement must start from the Igbo people themselves. I know that most Igbos or every Igbo will not see the light of the truth. But fortunately, a minority is facing the reality. You can see why I can only respect you if you respect what you read or heard. I'm concerned about the survival of my people. My people are an endangered people. Obasanjo is a Yoruba, but his mind and his eyes are not deceiving him. He knows the Igbos are different. Igbos are singled out, he knows. He knows that when he was in power, he did not treat Igbos the way he treated others. And why are Igbos treated differently? I will say so at the conclusion of my talk. They are singled out because they are different, and in my view, we must maintain our uniqueness. The Igbos are singled out simply because of anti-Semitism. Igbos call it Igbophobia. Fortunately, some journalists have begun to call it what it should be called. And the earlier those who are privileged to be in the forefront of the Igbo society at present begin to pay close attention to the kind of things I'm saying here, the better. People like Mr. Peter Obi, people like Val Ozibu, people like Obiora Chira, people like Professor Francis Duru, people like, let me pause for now. Thank you.